anymore. Like, oh, I am tired. I'm literally tired. Like, have you ever felt like giving up?
All right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. It's an honor to be here. I'm glad to be here. So let's just delve right in into the question you asked, and I will just say that there are some things that makes us human,
Okay.
and challenges also help us grow. So whatever sphere we find ourselves, we will definitely face challenges, face obstacles. As a matter of fact, I tell some of my friends, I give up every day. Yes.
The part of the story
Yes.
nobody hears.
Yes, I tell my friends, and that's with utmost sincerity. I tell my friends that I give up every day. As a matter of fact, that makes us human.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? It makes us human, but your ability to quickly dust yourself off that field and coming back is what makes you better, because at the end of that feeling lies a new level that you've not experienced before. So yes, so for me
That
each
at the
time I
end of
feel,
the year. Noted.
yeah, so for me each time I feel that way, in that moment I could feel a type of way, and my friends know this. Once I tell them that, all they say is, we are waiting for you, because eventually I would eventually I'm still gonna kind of come back, bounce back. So that is where our strength lies. You understand? It's not in our strength doesn't lie in oh, you feel like giving up and you lie there.
So which actually takes us to the next question. You know that
Yeah.
when you start, there's this thing of
Yeah.
your family, your friends, they don't support you. I am experiencing it to understand where it feels like you're all alone and you have to be your cheerleader. So how did you go through that phase? For those who want to start purpose, because a lot of people, they're afraid to start purpose start their purpose because they know that there's nobody that will cheer them up. Imagine you now, you say you want to go and be a pastor. Trust me, then Jessica, your dad will start laughing. And then you have to hold yourself alone. So your starting phase, did you have a starting phase where everybody supported you? Everybody, like your friends just started calling in for gigs and so on. Like, how did you handle that beginning phase where you are all alone? You have to build yourself to an extent that they'll believe in you. Because the Bible says, he that has more shall be added. And I've noticed with friends and family, I have to see a measure amount of success before they start coming around. So was it like that for you, or they just supported you from the get-go, like everybody was just all around you from the get-go? And if it wasn't like that, how did you handle it?
Okay, so I'd say that I grew up in a home that was ministry oriented. You understand?
Okay.
My mom is a pastor, so that kind of made some things easy for me.
Okay.
You understand? However, they had their fears. You understand? The fear is also good. You understand? Because for a young man who just did this, saying he wants to do something like this, studied economics, wants to now start producing music. Obviously, it will sound weird, to them initially. But then, here's the thing. You know yourself. You know what God has said to you. At the long run, everybody will be fine. So you have to be your first motivator. You have to motivate yourself first.
Be your first motivator.
You have to motivate yourself first, because no one is going to do that for you. No one is going to do that for you. They might have a little bit of empathy for you, but that does not mean that they are really, really, really there. You have to be your first motivator. I had it rough, and yes, I had it rough because I could recall that before I started producing, um, I was teaching in a secondary school, but then I kind of just so I kind of thought about my life within the space of 1 year that I thought there. And I knew I was meant to do this, but
Okay.
I didn't know how to start or when to start. You understand? But I knew I
Yeah.
couldn't. I was thinking I was going to, land a big job that will pay me millions, so I can buy my
Can
equipment
relate
because
to that starting phase.
yeah. So I can buy equipment, I can buy gears because our job is quite expensive. All of our stuff, they are quite expensive. You understand? And for someone like me growing up in Nigeria, you know, it is getting that first capital is really it's a
Really.
struggle. Yes. So that job,
Uh,
my family actually hear me.
Yeah, you're back. You went off at some point, but you're back.
Oh, okay. So my family at some point asked me, "Are you sure you know what you're doing?" You understand? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I think we can.
Okay. Okay. So they asked me, "Are you sure you know what you're doing?" But then it is your cross. You have to carry it.
Yes, you have to be your own motivator, as you said earlier.
Yes, yes, it is your cross. So I just dealt right in. For me, it was quite tough. I will just go. I will just go for 3 weeks, a month. They might not even see me at home. They do not know how I'm surviving and all that. So, but then it is your cross. You have to just be your first motivator.
Um, you can do this thing now, and you are like, you have to pay, and they start saying, at first already having pride, that kind of thing. So how do you handle this kind of people?
You see the comment section. Someone said, "You get pride normal." That's my drawback.
So
Okay,
how do
let me
you
let me tell you.
handle this?
Let me say something. There is a thin line. There's a thin line between.
Okay.
You understand? And it is pretty normal if you have principles that guide your life. For people who do not understand those principles to think you are proud,
Okay.
it is normal.
So
Everybody
you
will
have to
feel
have
people.
principle and a structure while
Yes,
doing.
yes.
Nice.
You have to have a principle that guides your life. But then, in the moment, your early phase, you don't overestimate your value.
Mm,
Neither should you not underestimate your value.
mm. Don't overestimate your value. Don't underestimate your value. I'm learning actually. Wow.
Yes. So because in that moment, your friends that come to you in that moment also are growing. So you
Mm,
also need a collective or a community of people growing together.
mm, mm.
Do you understand? It will
Yeah.
shock you. It will shock you the ridiculous amount I charged when I started. What I did. Do you understand? And that
Yes,
was
sir.
because I was certain that I am also still growing. I didn't lie to myself.
Okay.
So the moment I started charging, my friends
They understood.
didn't have a choice. They didn't have a choice. That does not mean I'm still not reasonable with them on some level. But then it is okay for you to be reasonable, but do not do something that would hurt your business, that will hurt your career, just because you're
Mm.
trying to be reasonable with
Trying to
another person.
lead us to another question. And that question is, how do you balance ministry and business? Because you're also a minister and a worshiper. And especially in the world that we are now, we have you going around social media. Don't charge, don't do this, don't do that. So is it that your ministration is strictly based on God and your production is based on business? Or how do you, when a pastor comes and be like, mix this audio for me, do you charge as per it is as it is business, or you don't charge as per it is ministry? Because your line of work, sometimes I wonder, how do you merge? Because if you're on social media or something, it'll be like, okay, you're getting the money from the social media or wherever, as some pastors do. So how do you merge ministry and business? Because I know you have been put on a very tight spot. Be like, now God, so I'm gonna just manage this money. Now, how do you do that? How do you merge ministry and business?
Okay, for starters, I'm going to demystify this question because it is a trap. So this question is a trap, but then I'm going to be sincere and I'll tell you where I stand. You understand?
Yeah.
Now, first thing is you should, if you're running a ministry and running a business, you should first be able to separate ministry from business. Am I
Mm.
saying that it influence the business? No. It will definitely influence the business. You understand?
Okay.
While the business aspects too might actually, some of the things in the business can also aid or guide the ministry. Do you understand?
Mm.
So for me, my personal consecration, when it comes to ministry, I do
Okay.
not charge.
Okay.
It is a personal consecration. It's my personal conviction. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
However, because I believe honorarium should be done freely, should be freely given. Are we saying that we do not have people who would abuse that? No. You understand? And that is why if I'm going out, I sometimes travel light. You understand? Based off, the condition. You understand? So
Okay.
there's a level you get to that the honor will increase and God, you understand? So
Yeah.
you cannot who to serve or how to serve you.
Okay.
Do you understand? That
Sir.
is like my personal, that is like my
Your personal
personal
conviction.
space. Yes. So if you're coming to me for a job, do you understand? If you're coming to me
Mm.
for a job, you're coming for a job. So you live oftentimes amongst Christian creatives, that's where, or should I say, in the house of God, we have a lot of um, emotional blackmailers that
It's
would
going
blackmail you.
rampant now, actually. The whole emotional
Yes, they would,
blackmail.
they would, they would blackmail you emotionally. Here's the thing: my service is unto God and unto God only. However, way I choose to serve through none of your business. You understand?
Yeah.
However way I choose, however way I choose to serve through man is nobody's business. Do you understand?
Yes, I
So
do.
you cannot tell me how to serve. You understand? There are ministries that I still work for till date that when we started with such ministry, it was just bring fuel money. Do you understand? As
Mm-hmm.
those ministries has grown to a point now in which, they when they reach out, obviously we still kind of consider that, oh, this, that. I'm talking business wise now. I'm talking the audio engineering, the music production. I'm not talking about me going to minister. So let's get that. Let's be clear on that. So when they reach out, we still give them some sort of a soft landing, but then they definitely know what to do. So
there's always more. So how did you handle the whole temptation of going secular, or you've never had that temptation? I'm so sure that devil is not that nice that you will not have such temptation. So why did you
okay,
decide not to go secular? Because we have some people who are gospel production, but they still do secular. I don't want to mention names, but I know we know a couple
okay.
of them already there that will do. So, what was your conviction of going secular, and have you had temptations for those who are in an aspect of life that the other world tends to middle in? Some people are maybe in business and all, and they don't have such temptations. But for those who
Mm,
are in the social world, where they have the whole aspect of life tampering, so how did you handle it? Not
okay,
merging both.
okay. So let me. We are all. I believe we are all learning. So I'm just going to explain in detail some things. Number one, um, the opposite of spiritual is not secular.
Okay.
Are you listening?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, the opposite of spiritual is not secular. The opposite of spiritual is can.
Okay.
Do you understand? Let me rephrase it again, just in case probably people didn't hear me. Spirituality is not secular.
Okay.
It is reality. Now, the word secular in its true form simply means something that is generally accepted.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? So it simply means something that is generally accepted. So if I'm doing, I can do a secular song, but not carnal.
Okay.
Do you get it? I
Yeah.
can produce a secular song, but never carnal.
So have you produced any secular song? Because I've done research and haven't seen any. Hence the question.
Okay,
I did
so
my
so have I
research.
produced?
So have you produced
Have I
any?
have I produced? I have mixed, and yes, I think I've produced a couple of secular songs.
Okay.
But if you check them well, if you check them well, as a matter of fact, I think I've even featured on a secular song that didn't. It has to be pure. It has to be clean. Take for instance, let's delve right in. Take for instance, the reason we are shying away from that sphere of influence is basically because of what will people say. And in the true sense, we leave that industry into the hands of the devil. And I'll
Yeah.
say I'll say this categorically. How can somebody who does not know who love is, preach to you about love?
Mm-hmm.
How can someone who does not know God talk about love and sing about love to you? Do you understand? So they will speak from the standpoint, or they will sing from the standpoint of corruption. They'll
Mm-hmm.
sing, yes, they'll sing love songs from the standpoint of corruption, a corrupt mind, a corrupt inspiration. But imagine someone who is a lover of God, who knows God,
Yeah.
singing about love. Everything that he knows about God would definitely and automatically reflect in the music. Do you understand? So I am an advocate for find expression. wherever God has placed you, but make a difference. You understand? It is difficult, right? Because of their kind of lifestyle. But if you've truly eaten, if you've truly feasted on the word of God, and you have people you are answerable to, you understand? There are some things you won't do. You understand? So it is more like um, being in that space, but not bowing to their God. I don't know if that's
Like in the word, but not of the word.
yes, yes. You are in that space, but you are not bowing to their God. I hope you get it.
Okay. Yeah, I
So
get
yes,
it.
so
And nobody
mm,
knows that person is a Christian. If you look at the Bible days, it's like you being a Christian, everybody knows. But
mm,
what do you think about Christians who tend to, I don't, is it dim their light or kind of curb their Christ-like nature in public, or in the name of being diplomatic in nature? Like in between. I don't want to offend the Muslims. I don't want to offend those who are not Christians. We are not talking about those who are extremists that put it to their face, like you are saying, not those
mm.
extremists. We're talking about those who could sleep, because I feel like when the Bible talks about let your light so shine before all men, it's not just talking about like in your career. It's like, okay, when they see like that girl is a child of God and she's doing excellently well, it means I can be, because there's this myth that's going around that is changing now, thank God, that Christians don't excel. The Christians that they
Mm.
know that are everywhere are the Christians who are, you understand, I don't want to use the negative word. So when you are
Okay.
like, give your life to Christ, you next thing you hear is what will I gain? Though
So
you are not giving your life to Christ for what you will gain, but I feel like if Christians who are doing well actually project the fact that they are Christians, will have more younger ones tuning into God's kingdom. Because the younger ones, they love the good things of life. And the truth is that with Christ, there is no way you will ever end small. So long
mm,
as you're working, because say, I'll bless the works of your hands, and you are
mm.
doing the things of God, you are not in between. So, what do you think about Christians who don't shine their lights in the world that they
Okay,
are?
can you I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Um the first thing is um if you know what you've received and what has been given to you freely,
Mm,
why would you want to hide it? Why would you be ashamed of it? Do you understand?
yeah.
The gospel is something to be excited about.
Mm-hmm.
It's something to it gives joy. When you still think I know some of us, when we still think about our salvation experience, we are still happy about it. We are delighted.
Yeah.
So why? So they would have to first check their salvation experience. They would have to check. And probably that their salvation experience can help them um, to be much more bold. You understand? Then
Mm-hmm.
secondly is the second one is what um, it is not even about saying it now. As a matter of fact, if you come to me and tell me you're a minister of God, I might look at you some type of way and look at you like, really? You understand? It should be by the fruits you bear.
Mm,
I don't know if you understand me. It
yeah.
shouldn't be it shouldn't be by you saying it with your mouth.
But by the
It should
truth.
be it's by the fruits. Do you exude love? Are you joyful? Are you peaceful? Is there can we find patience in what you do in your place of work? Are you patient? You understand? It is the fruit that would first be evident. It is the fruit that will first preach the gospel.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Before especially in the workplace, before the words that proceed out of your mouth. Do
Let
you
them
get
be
it?
the one to even
So,
ask you.
so yeah, so they might need to check themselves and check the fruits they bear. Am I going to say I do not have colleagues that are not believers? I mean, in this line of work, I do. I have colleagues that somehow, to the glory of God, I introduced probably them to a Bible believing church. You understand?
Oh,
A lot of
that's
people
nice.
in our line of work struggle with finding balance between um, spirituality and what they
Um,
do. You understand? So it is by the fruits you bear. I've seen, I have a relationship with somebody, a friend. I call him a friend. Um, he does the secular music. I've had a relationship with him for over 8 years now. 8 years, yes. And never has he asked me as touching this line of work, and I turned him down. It is by fruits you bear.
mm-hmm.
Do you understand? So
Yeah.
so I feel like they would have to also check themselves. What fruits do I bear? I think we all should check ourselves. What fruits do I bear? When they see me, do they see Jesus? You
Mm.
know, when you see me, do you see Jesus? You know, live, things that you once we are when we are talking, or probably when we are in the playful mode. Even in our playful mode, do they see Jesus? So that's just it.
That's on period. Okay, so
Yes.
we've actually passed our time. So, what do you have to say to those that are about to merge music? Those in your line of work, I think, because you're a music minister, you're a producer, audio engineer, and so on and so forth. So what should you say to those that are coming about the process? Because as you said earlier, the process isn't an easy journey. You give up every day. Like
Yes, I give up
this
every day.
2 days ago, I had a mental breakdown. I was telling my husband, like, babe, I am tired. Like, I am tired. And it was like, it's just a phase. It will soon pass. It's just a phase. Even if I know the next phase will be harder, but at least you will get past the phase of the process. Because the process is very tough. You want to give up all the time. Sometimes you find yourself doing the same thing for a very long time and it feels like no fruit is coming out of it. Though you have to sow seeds to grow. But sometimes waiting for the seed to grow can be so hard. So what do you have to tell those who are in this process line, who have left the beginning stage and they're in the process towards the end goal? So what do you have to tell them? Because we actually need this we need this motivation, we need the encouragement. It's not an easy
Okay.
journey.
The first thing I will say is number one, ensure you are called and clear.
Mm, mm. Oh wow,
So
that's deep.
yes.
That's
So
deep.
when you know you are called and you are clear, there are some things you wouldn't do. There are some battles you wouldn't fight.
Yeah.
You understand? As I haven't done. Okay, let me tell you something. Something as people would say, ghosted. The way you have the kind of resources to do this, to do that, to do this, to do that. Because I am called and clear, and I know what God wants me to do past time and season.
Mm,
I wouldn't you wouldn't find me do some things. I have not done a concert
yeah.
yet. Yet I have friends who host concerts. You will see me there serving. So number one, there won't be any form of you won't want to there won't be need to compete unnecessarily when you are
Mm.
cold and clear. You wouldn't see that
Mm.
it will be it will be so wrong for someone to tell me now that I am platform conscious because I am not. You understand?
Yes,
So
sir.
in our line of work and ministry, the mistake some people make is the fact that they are not called and clear.
Okay.
And some people also have identity crisis. You understand? So
Mm.
if you are able to take that out of the it now lies with the rest. The rest now lies with, okay, now that I'm doing this thing, you think about it too, the business aspect of it. You think about it that, okay, if I were to start a business normally, is it that the first few years of my business I'll start making profit?
Nah.
No. So if you read any book, if you're if you're for any business that would stand the test of time, it takes time to build something that will stand the test of time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm.
Foods that are allowed to marinate for a long period of time, they're usually the sweetest.
Yeah. Just
So,
like the bamboo. The
yes.
bamboo tree
So
takes years to grow, but when it does,
yes. So you ensure the process is tedious, it's tough. A lot of people won't say this. It is tough. I'm still going through it. We all are.
yeah.
But at the end of it all lies lies the reward, right? But then you are still not you are still not there yet if you are thinking about the reward from the onset,
Mm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, it
You see,
does.
you don't
It does.
you don't yes, if you are thinking about the reward, ah, mammon will be your god.
Wow. And
Yes.
that's true. You find yourself being driven by what you are to get.
Yeah.
Like that's actually absolutely true. You find yourself being driven by what you're to get. Maybe if you call to do administration, like, that church smile, not they go. Or you cut. I've heard cases that I can't do this. Like, how much would I get from this? Or it
Mm,
won't give me the visibility I want. Find yourself
mm,
doing things. But
mm, mm.
yes.
No one, mind you, no one is saying people shouldn't brand themselves.
No,
You
brand is
understand?
very important.
Branding is important, but know where to draw the line. You
And
know where to draw the line. You understand? If it is in your career, fine. But if it comes to that's it. So I think I've answered that question.
yeah, this was an amazing session. Like, I can't wait to go back on these videos and start jotting down everything I've learned. So apart from what is in my head, like know where to be cut and clear, know where to draw the line. Don't expect the miracle at the beginning. If not, you find yourself, find mom will be your motivation. And you talked about your calling, so you alone can give yourself the motivation to a lot and a lot that you have said. Like you've said a lot, and it's really amazing having you here. I don't know of others, but
Thank you
personally, I've
for having
learned
me.
a lot this evening. I think I came here for myself, and I can't wait to go back on these videos. So we say thank you so much for joining us, Minister Tife, Ghosted
Thank
Tife.
you for having me. Thank you
Ah,
for having me.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really an
Yes.
amazing session with you. So, 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 so. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, sir.